Hello and welcome to the Early Bird Special with your hosts Carole Montgomery and Julia Scotti. And now, here's Carole Montgomery.
Ring ling a ding, ring dingle. Oh, I was gonna try to sing. Hi everybody, Merry Christmas. How do you like this, huh? Isn't this cute? Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah and everything else. How's it going? Should I wear this the whole time? I think it's really cute. I'm not feeling very Christmassy. I have to be honest with you. Even though I'm Jewish, I always celebrated Christmas. But I guess it's mostly because of, we're still in this pandemic and we don't really know what our future is going to be like. But I thought to make people happy, it's our Christmas show. And so this is my little snowman, He's so cute. Hey, okay. I need to start drinking earlier. I hope everybody is great. We have a special. Well, it's not really a special show, but Julia and I decided, we're at the end of the year. We thought maybe we would just do the show, just Julia and I, go over all the things we've done this year, all the great things that happened this year, and maybe do some Christmas talking. And I hope everybody is happy. It's going to be a weird Christmas because I'm not going to get to see my son because COVID is still raging. So, but I'll see him virtually. So let's just bring Julia on and let's just chat away and see what's going on. So here's my good buddy, Julia Scotti.
Come, they told me. Take it, Carol.
La 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 la
la, la. I hate that fucking song.
Yeah, I was going to try to do some kind
of. If I were Jesus and that guy showed up, I'd have sent him right to hell. Right there, and even as a baby, I would have sent him right. I said, "Get out of here, go to hell." Anyway, so I can't get the. All right, so I finally got Google Chrome.
Okay,
so now I can hear you.
So you mean all that time you could? Well, okay.
I was reading your lips.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So today's my second anniversary of my heart surgery today.
Is it today? Happy anniversary! I'm glad you're still alive.
So am I. 2 years ago, this time I would not have been able to do this show.
Right. 2 years ago at this time, the executive producer of the show called me and said, Julia can't do the show, a week before we were taping. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm going to the hospital and
But we thought there was a possibility I might be able to.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Didn't we talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. And then a week before this, with the first special we shot in January, they said, oh, no, I can't go because...
I really thought I was going to.
I know you did. But because comedians are like that, we don't give it. Like we could have we could break our leg, or we'd hop on stage.
I did it with like 103 fever. I've been on stage with pneumonia. Oh, yeah. I mean, I did it. I had pneumonia so bad once up in Rhode Island. I sounded like Babe Ruth. Remember when he was dying and he went to Yankee and he was talking like that. That's how I sounded.
One time, it's so funny. I was sick. Well, because when I was in Vegas, there was no sub, so I had to go on sick. And so there was one time where I was really sick. It wasn't pneumonia, but it was like a bad flu. And I remember saying to the girls, because you're under all these hot lights, I said, just do me a favor. If you hear a thud, come out and get me because I'll have passed out. But I would go out. I would do the 6-minute spot, and then I'd go lay down on the couch in the dressing room because I was so sick.
How could they not have backup for you?
Vegas, because you know what? The dancers never had backups, so they figured, well, if the dancers, and they were more important because they.
Yeah, but you lose one dancer, who's going to notice?
Who's going to notice, especially with all the tits and everything? So so I just remember being so sick.
Wow.
And it always happened around the holidays because for Crazy Girls, they actually took the Christmas week off because surprisingly, Nobody wanted to see tits during the Christmas holidays. I don't know why.
The Christmas tits are like a tradition. Of course, we need a little titsmas right this very
moment. Right. So
on.
I'm going to take this off now. So,
I like it though. What
thank
is
you.
it? Is it?
It's a little snowman. It's a Christmas snowman. So we and literally because I would work every day. You know, we did at the beginning when I first worked there, we did 13 shows a week, 6 nights. So every Christmas for the first 3 years, I was sick as a dog. I would just lay there in bed for like most of the holiday.
Do you think that's psychological? I sometimes wonder about that because I have a tendency to not feel well around the holidays too, and I wonder sometimes if it's just because I'm such an emotional mess that I get myself sick. Do you ever wonder about that? I mean,
I think it's I don't like the holidays anyway because I think I believe more in doing than having to like show everybody. Like, you know, every year, you know, my Lane and Todd both get me wonderful gifts, and it's this whole thing, and I'm like, you know, guys, we don't need to buy. I could buy. Right. I mean, everything you buy me is wonderful, but it's just more shit to put in the house.
That's it. I stopped doing Christmas. Oh God, at least about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
My sister still insists on, you know, pretending we're the, you know, like the family. You know, when we were just really close friends.
Right.
My sister and I, you know, but she gets me a gift, and I keep telling her, "Look, I'm not going to get you anything." She goes, "I don't care. I'm going to get you some anyway." I'm like, cool. Like, you know, I still get all the money I saved over the last 10 years, and I got gifts on top of it.
But and it's like, you know, when Lane was a kid, and even though I'm Jewish, we always celebrated Christmas, and I always got him, you know, some, you know, because you know all of his friends were celebrating, so we would get, but when they get to a certain, I mean, he's 28 years old now. What, you know, I'm going to send him. I'm going to send him. You know, I'm going to Venmo him some money.
Now, well, let me ask you a question, because I've always wondered about that. I know a lot of Jewish people who celebrate Christmas, which is, I guess, I don't know. You celebrate non-religious Christmas, yes?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't play Johnny Mathis, you know, Christmas Carol kind of shit going on, do you?
No. Okay. We had a tree, and we also had a menorah. And we just, you know, at Christmas Eve, we'd open up the presents at midnight. You know, when he was younger, I would act like I was, you know, oh, Santa Claus came. But that's that, you know what? Okay, I know I know there was a question to this, and I cut you off, so I apologize. But there was one. He was in the 2nd grade, and he came home, and he said, "There's no Santa Claus." I said, "Who told you that?" He goes, "Tom." I was like so fucking pissed at this kid. I literally said to him when he came over the next time, I said, "Why the fuck did you ruin that? You know, just because you don't believe in Santa Claus." Well, my parents told me. I was so pissed, you know.
Yeah, I get pissed off at people. I've always felt bad for Jewish people for that reason, that, you know, they kind of had Christmas forced on them by guilt. You know, like, you know, it's like, if you don't celebrate this, you're not one of us, and that's kind of shitty. I always thought that was shitty. In my house, Christmas was always a disaster in my house. My fondest memory, my mother was depressed human being. And there was one year when my sister had moved out, and I think I was about 17, and they spent Christmas morning sitting there with this crazy woman crying, geez. And she's like, "Open your presents. Have a happy Christmas." I'm like, you know what? Let me go stick my head in the oven for.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, Christmas has long since lost its allure for me, if you will. So, but to be Jewish, I mean, it's tough being Jewish in this or any country, but particularly in this country, you know, because the freaking Christians make you feel like shit if you don't toe the line.
Oh yeah, and I totally wanted to be Catholic. because I was like, well, they have
Really?
Christmas. Oh yeah, I was like, the Jews have gefilte fish, which by the way is horrible. It is the
I've
most.
had it. Yeah,
It's terrible. I mean, and then you see Christmas ham and all this and gifts. So I always wanted just for the holiday. But now as an adult, it just if you're going to follow the teachings of Christ, then you don't need. It's the same way I feel about when you're in, if you believe in whatever you believe in, you don't need to go to a mosque or a temple or church.
Yeah, I agree.
You can have a relationship with God everywhere, and to be a true person of God is just being kind to people.
Of course. I by the way, if we get questions, we can open it. Can we open up for questions?
Sure, let's open up. Yeah, let's.
Yeah. I mean, I got one religious thing that made me kind of feel good today. Is that Pat Robertson? I don't know if you saw this.
Oh yes, I did.
Oh my God, who has been sucking the Trump weenie for like the last 5 years, has completely cut him off.
I know. I don't even know what I literally, somebody tweeted at that, and I literally wrote the tweet we're waiting for the tweet that I don't even know this guy coming from Chicago.
Yeah. It's just he said it's time.
Right.
It's time. Where were you 4 years ago? You jacket maniacs. They're all crazy. Anyway, back to nice stuff.
Back to Christmas.
Back to Christmas and
but,
Jesus.
But I've always been that belief that if you follow the teachings of Christ, it was always about
love.
Being love and kindness and more than $300 a week extra in the stimulus package.
But total. Here's the problem I had with Christianity, and still have to this day. Is that I grew up in the 50s and 60s when it was pounded into your head, but that there was hell. And if you ate a hot dog on Friday, it's hell. And not just hell, but a devil would fly up from hell and grab you by the hair and just yank you down. You couldn't. And then they, on the other side of that coin, the nuns would say, but God is total love.
Yeah, that's true.
Really, and if somebody's total love, then there is no room for vengeful gods.
Right.
Oh,
absolutely.
There's just no place. You can't occupy two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. Simple physics.
Right. But it's always it's very, and when you're a child and you're trying to figure shit out, you're like, well, how can you? Because I had a lot of friends that went to Catholic school, and well, if you do, and then you're like, wait a sec, but he loves you, like that.
Yeah,
Carlin used to do that whole bit, like we're screaming, yelling at him, but he loves you.
He loves you. We were told if you went to mass on the 9 first Fridays consecutively, so it was like a Dunkin' Donuts punch card. You get your card part every nine. You do them right in a row. You're guaranteed heaven.
Right.
It's guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
So you could go out and kill your whole family after that.
Right.
Doesn't matter. You're guaranteed. You pull out the paper. Look, I got the card.
Right. I know that. That's the thing that I never understood about confession. That you can go and confess it, like it's just like what you just said. You can do all this stuff, horrible things, and then not confess. All right, say a couple of Hail Marys and go ahead. But it's like.
Well, I remember when we were in grammar school, Catholic grammar school. I forget who asked who it was, but somebody once asked the priest, if Hitler went to confession, could he go to heaven?
Wow.
And I don't remember what the answer was. But that's an interesting question. If God is an all-loving God, if there is such, there's no such thing. But I mean, if they were, would He forgive people like that?
But
gee, I don't know. They always put genitals on God.
By the way, we do have a question. So Lisa Peluso.
Peluso
wants to know, what was your greatest joy of 2020?
Who's that for? Me or you?
Both of us, but you can go first because I have to fucking think.
I have to think about it. I guess I would have to say I had two. I had three. Why don't you go? And I'll. Do you go ahead?
Yeah. obviously, my greatest joy always is my son. So I knew it. So that's not 2020. That's just, that thing that came out of my hooch. But I think the greatest joy was the fact that we aired the special in 2020, and was the beginning of a big deal until, COVID. But I think that would have to be it for me, is that I got to do the second special, and that was a big joy. That was wonderful. And being able to do the Today Show with you and Tammy was so much fun.
All those things, right? If I could collect, that's why I said I can't put one. But all those things collectively put together, including the movie too. Seeing the movie come out finally after 5 years. But you know what? Today is actually the highlight of my year because I've survived 2 years after this thing, and I don't mean to be maudlin about it.
No.
I really don't. But it's I get up in the morning and I sit on the edge of the bed, and I'm not making this up. I just sit there and go, oh, okay, I'm still here. Okay, let's do something.
Right. I mean, you're supposed. You were not. It wasn't. Whether or not you believe in whatever there is. I do believe that when it's your time, it's your time, and when it's not your time, it's not your time. And then, this is actually very funny.
Mitch. Do you know Mitch?
No, I do not. But
Mitch Howgarden I've known him for 30 years, and he's at least 30 years, and he's my scribe. He's the guy that used to come when I first came back in 2011. He would come to my shows and make notes of every joke I did. He was a comic. I call him my scribe because he'd have these yellow legal bits, and he's just him and his husband Don are just two of my favorite people in the whole world. So yes, Mitchie, my air fryer is right up there. I got a new one, by the way.
I know you said that you got a bigger one.
My sister gave it to me.
I'm very excited. I think Todd's getting me one for Christmas.
You're gonna love it.
Oh, I think that's because he keeps going, oh yeah, I need to go out and do some stuff, because he got me the mic, the new mic for the podcast, which is great. But I think that's what he's going to get.
Well, let's back up to Peluso. Mitch is right. My air fryer is one of the big things in my life. So I saw somebody else's thing there. Hey, by the way, JJ Ramirez just had quadruple bypass like yesterday, I think. So
is he okay?
I believe so. Bill McCarty, for you comics out there who know Bill and JJ, there is a GoFundMe for him.
Okay.
Reach out to Billy McCarty because the link is on his Facebook page.
Wow.
We're all getting old. Eventually, we're all going to have quadruple bypass surgery.
Well, I mean, I'm literally I'm on high, I have blood pressure medicine. I'm on statins and everything. I take a baby aspirin. It's, it's the one joke I have that's kind of a Christmas joke is that my doctor said that because I have high blood pressure, I have to give up all sodium, which means I have to give up Chinese food, which means what the fuck am I eating on Christmas Eve? Because you can't say to a Jew you can't have Chinese food.
No, you could have the 7 fishes though, like we do in Italian houses.
Yes, but there's probably not as salty as.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to ask, what are you actually doing for Christmas Eve this year?
Me, I don't do holidays. I just don't. I sit around. I'll tell you what I'm going to do Christmas Day. Susan Sandler, who did the movie, there's a screening of Crossing Delancey that's on to help the Jewish Museum, the Holocaust Museum, and she did an interview with Peter Rieger that's also attached to the movie. So I bought a ticket. I'm going to see. It's going to stream all day. You can see it. The link is on my page if you want to go.
Yeah, I might actually want to do that. I might want to actually do, because I loved that movie. That was one of my favorite.
Well, it streams movies all day, so you don't have to set aside time to watch it. You can whenever you want to watch it. So I'm going to watch it.
Leslie Knight said she moved to North Carolina and she hasn't found Chinese food yet.
Wow.
Well, because it's North Carolina.
Yeah. Well. First of all, that was your first mistake.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be Chinese, unless they've gotten rid of them, because it is North Carolina. But
what, Chinese people or Chinese restaurants?
Probably both, because
everybody thinks P.F. Chang's is a Chinese restaurant.
No, that's a corporation.
Yes.
That's not a real Chinese restaurant.
No, it's not. It's run by an Irish guy.
Yes. So we were talking about so what's interesting about Christmas, we were going back to the whole thing about feeling, I think that there's so much pressure, like you said, to put people it's like, yeah, we have to have a good time. It's the holiday. It's the same thing with New Year's, like I always say that.
Sorry.
New Year's is for amateurs, because everyone's like, oh, we have to go out and we have to get drunk and we have to. And it's like, no, that's, it's just another night. It's, all of this is just like, even to be in New York City during COVID, during the holidays, is fascinating, because, Todd and I, we do our walks every day, and we try to do twice a day. And so we, sometimes we're in the park, but like last week or something, we were walking down on the east side. So we ended up, we walked down, and we try to stay away from Trump Tower, because,
And bad juju.
Right. So we walked up, and I said, okay, so we were like on 45th Street, and we started to walk up 6th Avenue. And even though you're not allowed to, the tree isn't, it was still crowded. And I was like, oh, I remember this. And then, like, thank God it's not crazy. But I just remember, like, everyone's like, oh, we have to get our pictures in front of the tree. And it's like, no, you don't really need to. And
I haven't been there. I mean, but I would imagine that the thing that's, even though the tree is there and it's pretty and all, and but it's missing that energy.
Oh yeah.
And you know what else it's missing? I know this sounds stupid. It's one of the things I love, to see the steam coming out of people's mouths as they're, I know it sounds stupid, but to me that's like, like that's winter, that's Christmas,
right. And you can't have, because you see the steam and you think is COVID.
Yeah. I'll never look at mouth steam again.
Like I think I've told you this, but I'm at the point now where if somebody isn't wearing a mask, I purposely make it a point to walk away. Like I walk, Todd doesn't, because he's a New Yorker and he's like, fuck them, I'm walking through. But I will literally, like, if I see somebody coming at me and they don't have a mask, I'll cross the street.
I got yelled at yesterday in the Wawa, because I had my mask on, but there was I had to get some information from the cashier, and there was a woman who was cashing in $100 worth of scratch-off tickets. It's like, oh Christ, this could take forever. So, and I guess I wasn't thinking, and I was inching closer to her, and I just wasn't thinking.
Right.
And she looked at me. She goes, "Would you mind standing back a little bit?" And I was like, and the Jersey part of me is right away was like, oh, "Fuck you," But then I thought, you know what? You're right. I said to her, "You're right. I am wrong. I don't know. I was just not thinking, and I apologize to her." And I averted, a fight, and I saved the world.
Yeah, there you go. But no, but that's that. I mean, I think I told the story before, but like right when everything started to chill out a little bit, I was at Whole Foods, and there was a woman like behind me, like she just kept, doing, and you do this, you give them the look, and then they don't pay attention. You're like this. Finally, I turned around and said, "You need to move back now."
Yeah.
And they apologize too, because you look, Jersey and New York is the same thing. Right. We're all just used to cramming into one space. And why are you ahead of me? And I want to get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
So I get it, but I'm just so, the thing about this disease, and I know we've talked about this, the thing that scares me is the people that are asymptomatic. Like my doorman told me that his nephew had it, but he was asymptomatic the entire time. The only reason he knew is because his father was sick, and he went, "Let me go take a test." And he never had symptoms. That's the thing that fucking scares me.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I'm not comparing the two, but if you remember AIDS, at the beginning of AIDS, I mean, there were no symptoms if you were carrying the virus, but you could still transmit the virus.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
In some ways, I mean, it was a virus, like COVID's a virus. That's the way viruses are. Viruses or viri? Virus.
I don't fucking know.
Viri?
I don't know what I have no viruses. All I know is now there's a new strain coming in from England.
Stupid English.
But good for Cuomo. Cuomo's like, you can't fucking come here.
No, I don't blame him.
But this is what I don't understand. So I mean, because now that we have rapid testing, like I understand if this was 6 months ago when you got to take a test and it takes 2 weeks. But these rapid tests, like I told you, the last test I took, I literally, because it was when I was waiting online and had to do the show, I literally got, just before we went live, I went, oh, okay, I got it. It was literally 15 minutes. So my thing is that why isn't somebody in England, in all the airports, you've got a ticket, before you have to wait online to go through fucking security, you should be taking a test.
But they're supposed to be coming out with a home kit soon.
I know.
Which is just in time for Christmas. What, it makes a great stocking stuffer. Oh boy, look, I'm having fun now.
Listen, I told my son
of the world, Carol.
I know. I told my son, because he was afraid of the first test he ever took. I said, honey, you used to do cocaine, right? He goes, yeah. I said, it'll be nothing for you. He went, all right.
I had one in the hospital. That was the last test I had.
What, the COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I went in for my ablation.
Right. I mean, like it's, but getting back to the whole thing with New York, that's what killed us the first time, with people coming in from Europe. It wasn't China.
Yeah.
Do you remember those? Do you remember the pictures when they said Americans had to come back, and then there was shots of people waiting in customs at Dallas, and they were all like this. They were all closed in together, and I was like,
yeah. Well, remember when Dopey kept those people in the ship so off the coast of California, wouldn't let them come back in?
Yeah, I just, I'm not gonna say anything about what's gonna happen for 2021. I just want it to be nice. I think
it's gonna be. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it's gonna be nice. I think we're all gonna go back to work.
I hope so, because I mean, I'm sure I know how you feel, but it's killing me. It's fucking killing me. Like, I just miss.
I know.
I miss you see, I've been posting stupid things like, what I miss about, like, when I enter my apartment, I go, hi, I'm the comedian for tonight. Do you know what I mean? Like, I miss all the stuff I hated.
Yeah, I could say that. No, I'm not going to say it, but I took a job I could say it. I took a part-time job delivering food.
Really?
Well, it's a part-time. It's only temporary until I can find something that is even more demeaning. So at least I got that joke out of it.
See, that for the people who are watching who are not comedians, that's really everything in a nutshell. As long as we can get a joke out of it, it doesn't matter. That's all we care about. So yeah. I mean, like, I have a joke. Which is a very harsh joke, but since this is a liberal crowd, the joke, when Trump was first elected, I said, well, the good thing is when we all end up in the camps, I'll finally be able to lose that last 10 pounds. And you can, but you know what? You got to make fun where you can, right? Why are you sniffling so much? Now I'm getting nervous.
No, my allergies have been going crazy. I got, this is the cold weather and then I get locked in the house and the heat goes on. And my nose dries out. No, and I was out today. Don't ask. I'm fine.
My nose runs all the time. Like,
mine too.
And we, our apartment in New York, it's those old radiators. So it sounds like ghosts because they start knocking first. Right. And they haven't probably been cleaned in 70 years.
We're supposed to bleed them once a year, right? Do they bleed them? No.
No. So the dust that we have in there is just, and then I start sneezing and my husband starts sneezing. And then we're both like, oh my God, we have COVID. And then
well, it was right. It's always my first thought, I was making oatmeal this morning. I put cayenne pepper on my oatmeal, and every morning, because this is like a ritual, every morning I sneeze because the cayenne pepper goes up my nose, and I sneeze like 5 times. I'm like, oh my God, it's the cayenne pepper.
Right, and sneezing sneezing isn't one of the symptoms.
Oh, well, there you go.
So there you go. But what I do, because this is how crazy I am, is that, like, when I wake up in the morning, I have hand sanitizer right by me. No, it's not even what you think. I open it up and I can still smell it, and then I close.
Oh my God, that's the way I did. I put banana on my oatmeal, and I go, "Can I taste this banana?" I taste banana. I taste banana.
This is what our life has become.
Hey, do you see what my sister got me?
What else?
I don't know if you can see right this year.
What is that?
Can you see that? I'm gonna bring it closer. Can you?
Yeah, it's a picture of something. What is it?
It's the building in Fairview, New Jersey, my beloved childhood home. That's where I grew up. Right up here. This was our apartment right there.
Aww.
And she knows that. Well, I have a big sentimental attachment to that place. So,
well, you have to give us more information.
Well, we I don't know if I get out of the way. I've always said it's the only home I've ever known. The only place I ever lived that felt like home. We had our apartment was owned by half by my grandfather and half by his business partner, and our cousins all lived upstairs.
Oh, nice.
And we lived. My mother was a single mother, so we lived on our own in that apartment, but it was neighborhoody. It was a neighborhood. We lived next door to a firehouse.
Wow.
Which we used to play stickball in the streets, and I mean, it was just there was bakery on the corner, Shinkle's Bakery, best crullers and jelly donuts ever in the whole world. I mean, it was a real ethnic,
right?
Neighborhood. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I missed. When we moved, we were like the Jeffersons. I mean, my mother, she had to have a house. We moved up.
Right.
Moved up. We moved on up to the east side. I didn't want to go. I'd still be living there if I could.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned it because I have a picture myself. My son, because he lives in Brooklyn now, so when in the summertime, he would ride his bike down to Coney Island, and he went by where I grew up. I don't know if you can see it.
I can't.
Really.
It's the ring light is angle it differently. Wait, angle it differently.
Angle it differently. Hold on. So yeah.
Okay.
So he took a picture of that and gave it to me because I remember it's so funny that you mentioned stickball. We didn't do stickball, but do you remember playing stoop ball?
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely. Where you throw the ball and then that was one point and throw it under your So that's my memory.
We also played box ball too, which was like a little handball. You stayed in a square on the sidewalk,
right?
And that was your square. You had to, hit.
And we used to play with all the boxes, all the refrigerator boxes.
Yeah. We would throw. Did you throw your Christmas tree out the window?
No, because we did. My parents didn't have a Christmas tree.
That's right. I forgot. I'm sorry.
They didn't have it. I was the only one that did that. I was the only Jew that did that. But
you're like the lonely Jew.
The lonely Jew. That's going to be my
Herb Albert. I recorded that. The lonely Jew.
The lonely Jew.
Diddle, diddle, die, 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 diddle, die, die.
So, what are you doing? What are you going to do for New Year's? Are you going to do anything special?
Well, I'm not working.
I was supposed to work.
Were you really?
Well, it's just a Zoom show with Jess Miller. You know Jess.
Yeah.
And she has to go get surgery for her kidney stone.
Oh no.
So she said, she said, do you mind? I said that I'm not going to be able. I said, what else am I going to? I'm not going to be doing anything. So I mean, I would have loved to have done it, but
No. I'm working on a play. I finished the short story. Short story, which I'm really, really happy about. And now I'm converting it to a play. So I'm rewriting it. This is the third rewrite.
You're supposed to send it to me.
I can send you the short story. I'll send you that.
I'd like to see that.
But I can't say in the play because it's not done yet. But I'm really proud of it. I really would like to see it produced at some point. I think it's got. And I don't say that about anything.
How many characters?
There's 5.
Yeah, because I bet you we can ask them at the Crane when they start doing shows again.
Yeah, I mean, even a reading. I would love to do a reading, staged reading, because it's. I'd like to hear it. I mean, I can hear it in my head,
right?
But I'm really excited about it, and I swear to God, I hate everything I write. I like this.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good. I mean, I'm actually, I've decided to, I'm going to rewrite my solo show.
Good.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting because I actually have 2 DVDs of it. So I have to watch them because this is when I lived in Vegas. It was called Confessions of a PTNA Mom.
PTNA. TNA, I get. What's the P part?
PTA.
Oh,
So
PTA.
PTNA. So I want to keep the title because I think it's a really good title because I mean it was all about me being a PTA mom and then working in a titty show at night.
Right.
But now I haven't done that. Like we moved back here. We've been here 14 years since I did the show. So
Wow.
I have to really watch because there's some great stuff about it, but there's also stuff that I think I don't need to do anymore. And so we have to. The point is that I'm glad you're doing what you're doing, and what I'm doing is because we don't know when we're going to go back to work, so we have to do other things.
Yeah, and it's good that in a way it is the blessing of this COVID because it has forced me to to look for other things. To as creative people, we're like I gotta do something, and this just came out of It started out as a sketch.
Wow.
It was going to be like a 3-minute sketch that it's going to try to sell I don't know who I was going to try to sell to, and it turned into this 45-page short story.
Is this the thing that you interviewed me and Rhonda for?
No, but that's also on that's next. That's coming up next. It is.
Oh, good.
I do want to do that, and there's another thing I want to do as well. So I'd like to, I'm not getting any younger either. I realize, I don't know how much longer I can perform, and I really love performing. But
I know you do.
Who's going to want to see me? At that point.
No, you'll always be on my shows. You know that.
Oh, because I know.
And speaking of that, just like what you were saying about next year, I think that most likely the fall is when we'll really be able to say, oh, we're going to do something like a tour and stuff, because I think that's when everyone will hopefully then have the vaccine.
I think you're right. I was hoping that, enough of us would have it by the end of spring, beginning of summer, but I think that'll be okay for outdoor shows. We'll see more of those.
Yeah.
By then, at least a good portion of us will be inoculated.
Are you gonna? I mean, because aren't you in the higher end? So
I am in a high risk category for my age and my health. My heart.
So have you spoken to your doctor about when you're going to get it?
No, I haven't. I'm waiting to hear. You know what? Here's the thing. I sound like Joe Biden. Here's the thing. There are people far more deserving who should have it now.
Yes, like all those senators, like Marco Rubio.
Don't get me started. Do not. I'm in a holiday mode. No, but I mean, like the first responders, nurses, doctors, let them all get it. Give it to them. Right. Give it to let them all get. I can wait. I'm in no hurry.
Right.
I'm not going anywhere.
Right. That's the way I'm feeling too. I mean, like even the grocery workers, they should be getting. And anyone that works in mass transit, like I think about because I'm so paranoid now about, like I said, when I walk down the street and everything. But then I think to myself, what about the people that are working in retail and they have to deal with if they're going out every day and doing it, then, then those are the people that should. Because my son used to work in retail before and he was a germaphobe before COVID. So he would literally text me sometimes, go, Mom, somebody gave me cash. Before they gave it to me, they coughed on it.
I mean, if you're a supermarket person and somebody gives you a melon, you know how these old fucks are. These old ladies, they're like, smelling. What are you smelling a melon for? What is that going to tell you? Nothing. Stop putting nose stuff on the melon. The poor woman's got to check you out. And that's, so those people should get it. I don't matter.
Yeah. And I want to wait and see if anybody grows a third arm.
I think you would have seen it by now. I think
I think if Fauci, gets taller, then I'll.
He got it, didn't he? Get it?
He got it today.
Biden got it.
Biden gotten the only one that hasn't gotten it. Guess.
All right, let me see. I can't believe Pence got one.
I know. What a piece of shit, right? Okay, we're not.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Because we only have a few more minutes anyway.
Like Craig Shoemaker. Race. We only have a few more minutes, really? Oh,
yeah, okay, hold on. This is from Mitch.
Again with Mitch. The Fruit Patrol. Fruit Patrol. Yes, that's what I'm going to do, Mitch. Find people sniffing fruit.
And giving him a ticket. Like Todd and I always want to, because I always call Todd the mayor of Central Park, because he's just like when people ride there, you're not supposed to ride your bikes on the sidewalk. And Todd's always like, why are you should be, like, I would love to have a job where Todd could just write tickets to people in Central Park for just being assholes.
I got yelled at in the supermarket once for walking too fast. I swear to God, this is like old people city down here. And I'm still in North Jersey mode. I'm running around. I come around the corner. There's this guy in a Jazzy, the electric carts. He's shopping. And I come around the corner. I almost fell over him. And he goes, whoa, Speedy, slow down. I'm like, and it just. What are you going to say to somebody like, slow down?
Slow down, Speedy. They called you Speedy. I love that.
You're pulling me over for speeding in the produce aisle?
Okay, so we have a couple of people.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Bruce Gilbert just said to say Merry Christmas. Love from Victoria.
Hi, Bruce. Merry Christmas.
And then Leslie Knight said, I used to love New Year's Eve when the networks ran old black and white movies.
Yeah.
I
remember they still do that, don't they?
Well, not the black and whites anymore. Speaking of which, are you a fan of, before I talk about this, are you a fan of Ricky Gervais?
I could take him or leave him, but...
Okay. Because we just watched Afterlife.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God.
I gotta go back. I'm like in a Schitt's Creek frame of mind about Afterlife, too. Maybe it's because it's him. I don't know. He gets on my nerves.
Oh, does he? Well, he's really good in this, and his acting is pretty amazing. But it's an intense show. It's like,
that's what I hear. Yeah,
it's like we decided to watch it again because we only watched one episode, and I was like, and it was such a brutal episode. It's just it's wrenching. So it's a perfect holiday film.
Well, what's it on?
It's on Netflix.
Oh, I'll check it out again.
Yeah.
I just gave up on Shameless. I'm so disappointed in them in this season. It's the last season.
Yeah.
And I love that show.
I know you do.
It really jumped the shark. The only thing missing is Fonzie going over the
wow.
Yeah, it's really I'm really upset. I'm really, really upset about it because about it. I mean, we had,
I know you had Mary. We had Mary on last week, and well, I mean, sometimes that's the thing is that sometimes you when they jump the shark, it's hard. It's hard.
Big time. Oh, it's a big jump.
But like, for example, like the Newhart. Now, did you? Because I watched the entire series, the first one, the Bob Newhart show.
Oh yeah.
See, like to me, that never jumped the shark.
No,
like
never. No.
Season one to see. I mean, it just was just good stuff.
And the greatest ending in the series history.
Right, of course.
I mean, no, it never jumped the shark. No.
Right.
No,
so I don't know when that started. I'd be curious to find out when actually jumping the shark happened to certain
days.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
From that episode, that's where the expression came from.
Ah, look at you, Miss TV person.
Oh, please, girl. Oh no, it was the episode where Fonzie had to jump over the shark. And he wore his leather coat, and it's like, please, come on,
yeah,
and then it started, and Richie had gone, and
right,
I think,
and then there was Joni Loves Chachi, and we saw how well.
I saw Erin Moran on an episode of Gunsmoke, I think it was,
when she was little.
No, was it? Yeah, she was little. Yeah. Oh my God, blonde hair. She had blonde hair.
Wow.
Oh my God, yeah. I see it. I love watching those shows for that reason. You see a lot of people.
Oh, I love what it was I think I'm saying this was the right show, but I think Jodie Foster was on The Courtship of Eddie's
Yes,
Father.
she was
as a
also
kid.
on Gunsmoke as a kid.
Right.
Very little, as was Kurt Russell. I saw him this week.
Wow. Yes.
He's about 12 years old on the
Right.
thing. Yeah.
People forget that Kurt Russell was a child actor.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That's right. I forgot about that. Like all those Disney type of shows too. He was also one
Yes,
of.
he did a lot of those too. So did Jodie Foster, I think, too,
Yeah.
didn't she?
Yeah.
She
was
did. Like Haley Mills, but she never. She grew up in.
She
You know
ended
Haley
up.
Mills?
Yeah, of course I know Haley. I wanted to be a nun because of Haley Mills.
You really are a repressed Catholic, which is kind of an oxymoron.
I know. I did. I always wanted to be a nun because of Haley Mills.
You're one of the few people I know who actually wants to be Catholic. Though everybody that is Catholic wants to get out of it. You can't.
No.
You can't escape.
No, and then if I came up, they'd go, "No, Jew, out."
No, Jew, no.
Out.
No.
So listen, we are at 45. Hold on, we have a couple of comments. Let's see if there's anybody. Oh, Mike Diesel is wishing us a wonderful holiday and a Merry Christmas. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
And Mark Petrocelli said, "Oh, this is an interesting one. Travolta was a corpse on Emergency."
Oh,
look at that!
And so wasn't Kevin Kline the corpse in The Big Chill, wasn't he?
And The
was
Big Chill?
No, that was
Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner.
I knew it was a Kevin.
It was a Kevin.
It was a Kevin.
So anyway, my love,
yes,
we're at the end of
this was fun though.
I know. Maybe we should do it again next week.
Yeah, for our New Year's show.
Yeah, we're going to do a New Year's show, just me and Julia. But not that we don't want our lovely guests, but we have such a good time doing this stuff.
Should we close with a Christmas song?
Sure.
All right. You know.
Oh, Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
No, that's
no. Prancer and Dancer and Larry and Tony, Kristen and Bobby and I don't know.
Is that? I think that was the list of the Sopranos.
I thought you were going to say the Supremes. Italian Rodolfo the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Have a very Merry Christmas. Stay safe. Wear your fucking mask. Julia, I love you. I'll see you next week.
Love you too, Carol. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.